Fortunately, we weren't talking when she passed. She wasn't talking to Timbaland, or I think her and Missy fell out as well.
Oh,
But
wow.
we still had love. Everyone.
What up, YouTube? It's your boy Q back with another video. And in this video, I want to talk about how on Aaliyah's last album, Timbaland gets a lot of credit. But I want to talk about Timbaland's lack of involvement of her third album. And let's get into it. Now, Aaliyah started recording for her final and last album, reportedly in 1998, with the Dr. Dolittle soundtrack coming up and her role in Romeo Must Die and the soundtrack. It kind of pushed the album back a little further, which ended up being released in 2001. Now, as we all know, in 1999, Aaliyah was recording, the songs for the Romeo Must Die soundtrack alongside with Timbaland. And I would think during this time that she would be recording music for her third LP. But come to find out, Aaliyah was so busy from the years 1999 to 2001, she really had to, I feel like that the project was rushed. Her third album was really rushed. And I'm gonna get into Timbaland's lack of involvement on her third album and how, because of that, Aaliyah was introduced to new producers, which will bring a new sound to that album. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because this is the 20th year anniversary of Aaliyah's last and final album, self-titled The Red Album. And I just want to give the album and her its flowers. So let's get into it. Reportedly, Aaliyah wanted Timbaland and Missy on this project. Like, she really, really wanted Tim's sound. She wanted that, that connection, that chemistry that, culminated One in a Million. She wanted to put that, energy into her third album. But at the time, between 99 and 2001, Missy Elliott and Timbaland were really, 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 really blowing up. Their careers were getting really big. They were producing. Timbaland was producing for a lot of artists at the time. Missy was doing a lot of writing and producing as well for a lot of artists. So, in my opinion, I think that Timbaland and Missy, I believe they really got beside themselves. And they really felt like, I really felt, for me, Aaliyah is what brought Tim and Missy to the light. They were already artists and, producers or whatever. But I think when Aaliyah came into the picture, she really gave them a push. So I think with this third album, she really wanted them to work with her. But, she was in Australia filming for Queen of the Damned. And, evidently Tim and Missy were not able to really, go out to Australia and work. And what ended up happening is, I don't know, the fans know, but there are 3 tracks on the album which were produced by Timbaland, and that was We Need a Resolution, More Than a Woman, and I Care For You. But in reality, only 2 were recorded specifically for this album, because the song I Care For You was recorded back in 1996, and Aaliyah really wanted to put it on that album, but it was already mastered, so she waited. So in reality, Tim was only able to do 2 songs for her album. And Missy, believe it or not, was not a part of Aaliyah's third album at all. And the result of Tim and Missy not being able to come out and record in Australia and really work around Aaliyah's schedule, new producers were brought in. Jada, Key Beats, of course, Static Major, the writer, Digital Black from the group Playa, Tank, so it was a culmination of all of these new great talents that came together to put together Aaliyah's third album. And for me, my favorite songs on the album are actually produced by, Eric Seats and J-Dub and Tank, as far as versus We Need a Resolution and More Than a Woman. I do love those songs, especially We Need a Resolution, but I feel like they weren't like the top biggest songs on the album for me. For me, my favorites were Rock the Boat, It's Whatever, Those Were the Days, What If, I Can Be. So it was interesting. And there was actually an interview where I want to say Genuine, he brought some things to the light, which was Aaliyah was upset with Missy and Timbaland around that time. And I think that's why they took her death so hard, is because they knew that maybe Aaliyah was upset with them because they didn't, I feel like, they didn't make a big enough effort to come and work on her project, especially Missy. You know what I'm saying? Missy did write I Care For You, but again, that was back in 1996. So with this new album, Timbaland came in and only did 2 tracks. I want to say, I take that back. Don't Know What to Tell Ya was a track recorded as well, but it wasn't put on the Aaliyah album. It was later released on her posthumous album, I Care For You. But, truth be told, Timbaland's and Missy involvement in her third album, it was very, very, very little. And I think Aaliyah really felt some type of way because of that. But I think she pushed forward, and with the creative team that, came on board, she created a masterpiece. It was the greatest R&B album of 2001. It hit number 2 on the Billboard charts, which was her highest charting album to date. And the album just represented growth for her. You know what I'm saying? Her music, it represented, like, it showed a progression. You know what I'm saying? And that album, it was just, for me, it was like everything. And the direction it was headed in, I mean, the Red Album tour, more videos, performing at the Grammys or AMAs. Like, it was just so much, that was going to happen, and it was going to be magical. So that was my video. I just wanted to put that out there. I don't know if a lot of people even knew, you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people just assume that aren't fans that, Tim and Missy, they were just the forefront of that album, when in reality they weren't. Even Aaliyah gave them a lot of credit, when she would talk about the third album, Tim and Missy, and, even though the other producers on the album produced way more tracks. And I'm actually friends with Eric Seats on Facebook, which is one of the producers who did Rock the Boat, Those Were the Days, It's Whatever, They Say, which was an unreleased song that just came out a few months ago. And I follow him. We actually are friends on Facebook. And he always put out content, representing Aaliyah, giving her flowers, and just giving the Red Album its just due. So shout out to Eric Seats. Shout out to Tony Turner. Great guy on YouTube, great videos pertaining to Aaliyah. So if y'all don't know and you're not tuning into his videos, check him out. Great content. But I appreciate y'all for watching my video. Again, this is your boy Q. You can subscribe, you can like, share, whatever. But I'm out of here. Peace.
Third album was really a culmination of all the things that we were starting to pull together. Missy's career had taken off, and we had a very short timeline to get that record done. That's what opened the door for Static to come in. That opened up a whole new world of music for Aaliyah.
I don't know if she was ready to do that album, per se, because she was working on her movie at the time. And I think the label was rushing it, trying to just, because she wanted Missy. Missy wanted her to come, she wanted all of us to come to Australia so we could go for a minute, but we couldn't stay out there. It wasn't like the One in a Million album, because I wasn't there for a long period of time. Missy couldn't really go, and sending records wasn't our thing.
Aaliyah's acting career had taken off. Missy had a couple platinum albums under her belt. Timbaland has his quirks about how he records, as most, super producers do. So it was hard to line everything up to get the same kind of synergy that we had before, but we were able to come together on 3 records. 2 of the 3 worst singles, More Than a Woman and We Need a Resolution.